on the left. I think it should start there around 5:30, so we're actually running on time. But before we do that, I want to invite a special guest up. Scott Presler has been an incredible advocate for something that I think Republicans used to be good at before COVID, and we kind of forgot. I remember when I was a state rep, and we had an absentee ballot program, and every day I would look at who requested absentee ballot. We'd send out postcards. We'd be reaching out to those people who were trying to vote early. And then when Vermont went through COVID, we had this automatic mail-out ballot program. We just kind of like threw our hands up in the air. We kind of got overwhelmed. And Scott has been traveling the country, helping Republicans in state and federal races. He went to Louisiana to help the governor there win the runoff, or win a majority, so he avoided a runoff. He's been involved in Florida, helping the state of Florida go from a 300,000 deficit with more Democrats registered than Republicans. Not only did they close that gap, but they kept going. And now there's almost 300,000 more Republicans than Democrats. And that's a big job. Lots of people to thank for that, but Scott's been a part of that. And even more recently, he's been doing kind of what Misha Mander suggested, going into those deep blue urban areas where people, and reaching out and connecting and talking about the things that Republicans provide. You know, that same thing that we mentioned earlier. You know, mostly leave me alone. Let me live my own life. And so Scott's been going to some of those places. We need a party that is full of people doing the hard work. Doing the hard work. All of our legislative candidates know knocking on doors every day is hard work, but it's got to get done if we want to see the results that we need to see. And Scott's the kind of person that I think has been working harder than anybody that I know of doing that hard work. So please welcome Scott Presler.
Oh, I see the danger there. If there's a chance for me.
Good evening. Low energy. Good evening. That's what I want. Passion, fire. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Scott Presler. I am the son of a retired Navy captain. I am that long-haired, flat-ironed Eagle Scout. And in 2021, I was humbled to receive the Ronald Reagan Award for Freedom at CPAC. But how did I get started? I want to thank President Obama. No, I'm serious. The night that he was reelected in 2012, I created my Twitter account that evening because I was really mad. But I wasn't just mad at President Obama. I was mad at me. I said, Scott, where were you knocking on doors? Where were you registering voters? Where were you getting out the vote? And I realized that I was a part of the problem because I wasn't a part of the solution. Now, clearly, I look like I'm from Vermont. Some of you can't see my cowboy boots, but my first job was helping to elect now Governor Greg Abbott in the great state of Texas. I never wanted Hillary Clinton to set foot in that White House ever again. So I spent 2 years of my life, and with your help, we defeated the Hillary Clinton, electing Donald J. Trump as the 45th president of the United States. And it was President Trump that changed my life forever. Do you guys remember hearing about the city of Baltimore and that we'll say it needed more love and attention? Well, I'm the guy that organized a trash cleanup in the city. And with 200 volunteers on a Monday, we picked up 12 tons of trash in 12 hours in one single day. I went home to my ma so excited. I was like, Ma, I'm really good at picking up trash. Her heart swelled with pride and admiration. And of course, they showered after that. But more importantly, I thought, guys, this is why I'm a conservative, because we believe in concerned citizens coming together in an act of love to save our communities. We don't need the government to do that job. We need us to do that work. And I thought, why can't I do this everywhere? So we did. We went to Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Denver, Decatur, Detroit, Houston, Kenosha, Los Angeles, Miami, Milwaukee, Nashville, Portland, Pittsburgh, Philly, Salem. I was protested for picking up trash. Any guesses where I was protested? A dictator from China recently visited the city. San Francisco. Bless their hearts. Do y'all know what that means? When I first moved to Texas, I didn't know what it meant. And so it's getting real hot in the month of May in Texas. I'm talking to all my new friends. I'm going, guys, I'm sweltering. They'd all just kind of cock their head, look at me and say, bless your heart. I called up my ma, so excited. I was like, Ma, I love Texas. Everyone's so nice. They're all blessing my heart. Come to find out, it's a real nice Southern way of saying, you're dumb as heck. But you're cute. So 2020 was pretty, dare I say, soul crushing. That was the worst Christmas of my entire life. And I was like, okay, we need to regroup. We're going to spend the next 2 years helping to take back Congress. And then we're going to force Joe Biden to come to the table and he won't be able to pass reckless and dangerous legislation. Now, 2022 happens, and everyone is saying, Scott, it's supposed to be a red wave. You know, we got this porous border. The inflation is awful. The economy's terrible. You know, Putin invades Ukraine, which we didn't have under President Trump 4 years ago. We had everything there available to have a red wave, and it never materialized. Why? Well, this is contentious, and I want you guys to save your tomatoes, please, for the end. I did my hair just for you. Hold off. It was the inspiration behind my creating my organization, Early Vote Action, earlyvoteaction.com. I'm focused on 5 key states with due respect to Vermont: Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. We win those 5 states, we win the presidency. We win the necessary 270 electoral votes that we need in order to take back the White House. So let's talk about why that red wave didn't materialize in part. Do you guys know who Carrie Lake is? Who is Carrie Lake? Yes. What happened to Carrie Lake on election day? The machines went down factually, 60% of them in Maricopa County on what day? Election day. Now, I listen to you guys all the time and you say, Scott, I want 1 day, 1 vote, 1 paper ballot, right? Now, what happened in Harris County, Texas in 2022? What happened in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, a Republican county? They ran out of paper ballots on what day? And now this is familiar for you guys. I know it's not right now. I'm so sorry for bringing in all the hot weather. I was really expecting it to be a lot colder, but it snows. Did you know that in Nevada in 2022, it snowed on election day? And it snowed in Washoe County and Reno because, you know, as Republicans, we, for some reason, we like to live in the mountains. It's what we do. And so our mountain folk, it was snowing on election day. Adam Laxalt loses by 8,000 votes. 8,000 votes. Do you guys know how many Republicans in Nevada stayed home on election day? Give me a number. Please shout it out. Higher. 150,000 registered Nevada Republicans did not vote in 2022. Isn't that shameful? And even worse, you know why it's even bad? I heard Chairman Dame say that you guys in Vermont at one point, or I don't know if you still do, had universal mail-in voting. In Nevada, every eligible voter receives a mail-in ballot, whether or not he or she requests one, right? That means that 150,000 registered Nevada Republicans received a ballot, didn't open it, didn't fill it out, and didn't walk 10 feet to their mailbox to lock in their vote. We could have the Senate right now had Republicans just voted in the 2022 election. Joe Biden would not be able to put in a Supreme Court justice or judicial nominees had we just voted in 2022. And it gets worse. Oregon. Oh my gosh, you think Vermont's bad? Let's... The left coast, you probably think those hippies, my people out there, that they could never vote red. Get this. In 2022, we had a candidate named Christine Drazan, Republican, running for governor. She lost by 62,000 votes. 62. You tell me how many registered Oregonian Republicans you believe did not vote in the 2022 election. Give me a number. Okay, babe. You start small. Incremental. Anyway, 226,000. Oh, excuse me. I lied. Pardon me. 126,000 registered Oregonian Republicans. But still, we should be ashamed that we didn't do better in 2022. Ashamed. But at the same time, what am I trying to impart upon you? We have the votes. We have the votes to win, guys. We just aren't as good as the Democrats about getting our people out to vote. Because while we're all waiting to vote on one day, election day, they're ballot harvesting. They're voting early. They're voting by mail. They're voting in whatever capacity they can. And we are voting on only one day. Next, do you guys know who John Fetterman is? A man of honor, courage, bless his heart. I think I used that correctly. Because we're classy, Vermonters, we're classy. And so, in 2022, did you know that the day before John Fetterman and Dr. Oz debated, the day before the debate, 500,000 Pennsylvanians already voted by mail. It didn't matter how terrible that Fetterman performed during the debate because people had already locked in their vote. And 4 out of 5 of those voters were registered Democrats. So the Democrats are going into election day with 400,000 votes. Sure, we got 100,000, but we just saw this happen in a statewide election for the Pennsylvania Supreme Court in November of 2023. The Democrats went into election day with 400,000 votes. We lose by 200,000. We lost a Supreme Court race, and the Democrats are now going into the next presidential years until 2035 with a Democrat liberal majority because we simply didn't get out the vote. Football. I know this is really stupid, but I want to show you a point that I have to make. Do you guys know who Jeff Landry is? No? Oh my gosh. We just elected Governor-elect Jeff Landry as the next governor of the state of Louisiana. We flipped that from Democrat to Republican. This is a big deal, guys. Now, the reason, you should be fired up, baby. You should be fired up. Because when we swim as Republicans, we don't just swim as Vermont or New England. We swim together as a family. And that's a motto that I've heard from you guys is the need for unity. We need to think of that nationally. Well, anyway, here's how important this is. You have to win 50% plus 1 in the primary to win outright. There were 15 candidates. And on top of that, you had football, LSU, versus Auburn at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge on election day. And for any of you that know Southern football, that is the closest thing to religion as it gets. So the fact that we won shows our strength. And furthermore, Caddo Parish is majority minority, majority black. We won Caddo Parish with a majority of Republicans on election day. The tide is turning, but in part we won that election because in 2019, the Democrats won early voting 44% to 41%. we, this year in 2023, won early voting 44% to 41%. And furthermore, part of the reason why it took so long for me to get back to the chairman is because he was hounding on me to come to this event. And I said, Mr. Chairman, I said, I have to win this governorship if I can come to Vermont. And so actually there's a runoff election today in Louisiana for Secretary of State, Attorney General, and Treasurer. So if any of you guys know anyone in Louisiana, you get them out to vote like now. Like you text them, like you have my permission to pull out your phone and text them now. Furthermore, there is a psychological effect to voting. Now, Chairman Dame, he cited some good voter registration statistics, but he was actually incorrect. The Democrats used to have, in 2012, 500,000 more Ds than ours in that state. And 50,000 more registered Republicans than Democrats. And in part, and think about who we just elected in 2022. We elected Anna Paulina Luna to Congress. We elected Corey Mills to Congress. We re-elected Matt Gaetz to Congress. We re-elected people that are actually holding the Democrats to account that we wouldn't have this majority if it weren't for the wins in Florida in 2022. Local impacts national. So where do we go from here? Well, number one, I want to thank Chairman Dame, and I want to thank the Vermont Democratic Party, because we wouldn't have as many eyes or news articles written about today's event if it weren't for the Vermont Democrats. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Thank you, our Democrat friends. No, but honestly, guys, I want you to know I'm not independently wealthy. I have my own organization that I'm not even taking money from right now. I didn't ask for a speaker fee. I'm doing this because I love our country. And I know that if we don't defeat Joe Biden, if we don't make him a one-term president next year, I don't see our country turning around. I don't. This is it. If you have ever felt a yearning to do something, I ask you, I spoke with Christopher. Christopher is potentially thinking about running for office. I've spoken to many of you. You're thinking about running for office. Do it! Haired sign. Like Representative Maynor was talking about, that the woman with the mailer, that the person's last name was Lord. I'm your sign, and I'm telling you, run for office. It's our time that if you want to turn Vermont around, it starts with the people in this room. We can do it. I want you to know that I'm joyous, I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, I'm positive, and we have a message. We stand for faith, family, finance, freedom. And we can do this together. And it's been an honor to have my first time here in Vermont be with you, the Vermont Republican Party. And I want to thank you for having me.